Hi everyone. So we're going to do a do-over review of this Whistle Pig Snout to Tail bourbon, aged 10 years, 88 proof. Not because I feel that my comments were inaccurate or not reflective of the way I felt about this when I popped it. I gave you, as I always do, my true, honest, and unbiased opinion and try to be as accurate as possible. All that's true in my initial review. But I do feel that I was maybe unfairly comparing it to another toasted bottle that has just blown me away, and that was the Nulu toasted small batch. And straight up and hard stop, I do feel, and not changing my opinion, that the Nulu toasted small batch was better. But it's apples and oranges. It's completely different. That's 108 proof, whatever. This is 88 proof. There's a lot of differences. Just because it's toasted, it doesn't mean that it's a fair comparison. So for me, yes, that bottle's better. But at the same time, I thought that I had such an impression of that in my head that maybe I wasn't giving this a fair shake. So I wanted to kind of poured some up before this video, and I'm like, I just kind of want to do a quick one on this. So I reviewed this, and I wasn't all that thrilled with it. And I still feel that this is priced kind of high, and I got this for, I forgot exactly what the price was, but I think this is, it was like in the, I think this was close to 70. And I've even seen it priced higher. And now I've seen this turn up in a lot of liquor stores in the Whistle Pig. And I just feel, I get it's 10 years. It is aged 10 years. And I get there's a secondary process, which I'll review again in a second. I just feel, for what it is, I just felt it's kind of maybe a little pricey. So just to recap, this is aged 10 years. It says it right there. And then it has a very unique finishing process. So the finishing barrel has two toasted barrel heads. One is the Vermont Oak medium aged toast at the snout end, and then the Vermont Oak smoked maple toast is at the tail. So it's snout to tail. It's flipped 180 degrees in the warehouse so that the whiskey hits both ends of it. And I want to kind of get more into that because the Nulu, again, the last time I'm going to say it in this one, it was just so toasted to a fault. I mean, not in a good way, that it just blew me away. But I wanted to kind of revisit this. And this is what I always say when someone asks me about this, when you do reviews, is this the first drink, first pour you have? And generally the answer is yes, unless I'm doing multiple reviews. And I try to do one at a time and separate it, because after a while, then they all meld to each other. So if I'm doing a review, in this case, I did do one review earlier, but it was a completely different expression. It was a rye, so it's not like a mix-in. But you can't do, I don't feel, you could do something like two toasted, and I think the second time you're reviewing the second bottle, it's going to get too mixed in. I do try to make that my first pour and just kind of have a fresh palate on it. So I'm going to kind of go through this again, and I kind of did before this video, and I'm not saying this is great. I don't disagree with what I said originally, but it's maybe a little bit better than I was maybe giving it a shot at before in my first review. So I'm going to give this a nose. Now, again, this is 88 proof, certainly a lower proof. I think this would probably be even better a higher proof, but the nose is pleasant, and I'm going to give this a taste. Cheers. So I guess what hit me the first time was that Whistle Pig is certainly known for their ryes, and this is a bourbon. But I'm guessing, although I don't know the mash bill, that there's prominence of rye in here. But on the second try here, I am kind of really focusing more on the toast. I know it's 10-year age. I still don't think it drinks like a 10-year age statement, a 10-year age whiskey. But I do feel that the toasted barrels, I am getting kind of like paying attention to both ends of it, both the medium toast and especially the maple. And I am getting that. I definitely am getting definite influence of the maple in that, and the toast from both ends. I can definitely see where that is present in this. So not to make this long and drawn out. So I still think, again, I know it's aged 10 years. I know this is a special process. I get why this is priced what it is. I guess maybe it's the fact that it's 88 proof at that. I kind of, when something is in the 80s in proof, like, I don't want to even go to the obvious one, Basil Hayden. This is better than Basil Hayden, full stop. But, that's like 80 proof, and it's, in the 40s, and I've seen it as high as 50 even. So I think maybe the pricing's a little high. However, I think that this is better than I kind of judged it the first time. And we're only, not even a quarter of the way down here. So I think that there is a nice toast in here, better than I thought the first time. I'm not going to say it's the same thing. I don't like it probably as much as that other. Not even going to say it anymore. Don't want to compare it. But I think on its own, I think it is pleasant. Again, for 88 proof, I think there's a decent flavor in here. Again, maybe the pricing, I'm not quite sure on that one. I get why it is priced that way. But for me, am I going to rebuy this? Probably not. It's not going to change. I'm not going to rebuy this, I don't feel. But I wanted to kind of give it its due. And maybe I was a little harsh on it. So, yes, the negative, I think it's maybe priced a little high. I wish the proof was higher. But it is a pleasant pour. I do get the toast. I like the fact, I think it's very unique. Aside from a 10-year age statement up front, then age snout to tail, it's got a bunch of information on here. So from the Whistle Pigs that I've had, I have not had the 12-year rye. I know that that's supposed to be very good. I mean, I had the 6-year piggyback, which I didn't like. So I would say that this is a decent bottle. I wish it was maybe a little bit priced a little bit lower, although I get why it is this way. I'm not going to rebuy this, but I think I was a little harsh. And so basically, to sum up, I think this is a decent pour. I think it's tasty. I just think that sometimes if you're going to review something, you got to kind of review it straight on to what it is, not necessarily have another toasted expression in your mind because, we're talking sometimes apples and oranges. So not bad. Not a rebuy for me, but better than I kind of judged the first time. Cheers.